stand for the Reading Fire Department Honor Guard, followed by the 63rd graduating class and Fire Academy.
Battalion 1! Battalion 2! Alpha Company!
Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats.
Academy, afternoon greeting.
Good afternoon.
Academy, right face.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nathaniel Lacey for the Firefighters of Prayer.
When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me the strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my neighbor and protect his property. And if according to my fate I'm to lose my life this day, please bless with your protecting hand my family. This I pray.
Ladies and gentlemen, the invocation by John Bruno.
Most of you families will be sitting with your loved one firefighter, and if you are, I'd like you to either grab their hand, put your hand on their shoulder as we dedicate them this morning. Lord, we commit the 63rd Firefighter Academy to you. We want to thank you for this time of year, this season that we celebrate Christ who came to die for us and to redeem us from our sins, Lord. Thank you for what he did. And Father, we commit the future of every young man here. They have worked so hard, and we thank you for their time, their dedication, their effort. We thank you for the instructors, the staff, and all the worker bees that made it possible so they could have a safe and healthy term of learning. God, we just pray that you'll be with each one of them as they enter the field to serve you in the fire service. For every hallway they'll crawl down that's smoky and burning, for every victim they'll pull from a car, from every ridge they'll climb to fight fire, God, we ask that you protect them. And we commit them to you on this day, that you'd put a hedge of protection around each one of their lives as they enter the field of the fire service. Help them to look to you for their strength and to bless their families as they're away from home, serving others. Thank you for the commitment that they've made. We pray you'll bless them in the days ahead. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now for the keynote address by Reading Fire Captain John Houston.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here this afternoon. Like Chief Lacey said, I'm John Houston, captain of the Reading Fire Department. I went through the 28th Fire Academy in 2003. 17 years later, it's a major honor to be here. I'm really blessed, and thank you for having me. I want to keep it real with you guys today. I want to give you some information that people didn't give me when I started. Things have changed a lot in my career. I started in 2002 with CDF, 4-day work weeks, trying to catch a nickel at night. And it was a much different fire service. We at this point are entering a war. There's no other way to describe it. We are losing firefighters every year, and it's just a different career that we're entering into. So I want to be very honest with you and let you know what you're getting into. I used to work with Don Lacey, Captain Lacey at Station 1. I wanted to give you a quick story about my first interaction with Don. My dad was dying of cancer, and I was a probationary firefighter. Towards the end of my probation, I had passed all the tests, I had gotten all the different qualifications and checkoffs done, but my dad only had about a week left to live, and it was about a month before the end of my probation. So my captain went to the battalion chief at the time and asked if we could just do a mock badge pinning to kind of give my dad something prior to his passing. And we were told no. So, coincidentally, or a grace of God, Mr. Lacey was upgraded to battalion chief a week later. And his first order of business that day was having my dad come to Fire Station 6, and we did a mock badge pinning. He died just a couple days later. I want you in your career to try and be that leader, to try to be that friend, to try to walk out of your career leaving an impression on people by doing acts of service like that. That's what this job's about, and it's being lost, and I'm sad about that. But that's what made such an impression on me about Donovan Lacey, and I'm so thankful that he asked me to come here today. But today's not about me, it's about you. The Academy has pushed you, it's challenged you, it's empowered every one of you. You are not the same you were on day one. This growth will not end, and during your career, you're going to be faced unexpected challenges. The fires, the understanding fire behavior, the driving of the apparatus, and the command of dynamic incidents are just a few. Dealing with others will be just as big of a challenge. In my short 18 years, we started with, in CDF, officers were hoping to catch a strike team to try to make some overtime. We now have 9 to 10 month fire seasons. We are all tired. The fires are incredibly explosive. They're fast-paced, and it is every year we lose someone. You will all, in your career, will know someone that dies. And that's not the way it used to be. It's an absolute war at this point. Along with these unstoppable challenges, we're losing our way. The tradition, the dedication, the heart and soul of fire service has been fading. We have a reputation that was built on selfless dedication of the servants of the past. But the career has been infiltrated by egos and arrogance and greed, but that does not have to continue. Class of 63, you can start the change. You can ask not what the fire service can do for you, but what you can do for the fire service. That's not my quote. I stole that one. You can see in your career the strength of the fire service. The actual service comes from the company level. Everything is based on where you're going to start. From the back seat to the driver's seat to the captain's seat is where it all starts. Everything is built around making sure that engine leaves the station and does their job. So it's such a miracle that your first position is in the most important position. Be proud of that. You get to dictate how the community is served directly on every call, how safe they are, and how satisfied. You get to dictate how satisfied you are in this career choice. I want you in your company to train like it's real, so when it's real, it's just training. It's one of the fundamental parts of an engine company, bringing them together. The company that doesn't bond through training doesn't bond. Focus on your career on being the absolute best, the most proficient, and the best individual that could be filling that seat. The community is counting on you. As a firefighter, I want you to understand that you're walking in knowing very little about this job. The rolling of the hose, the cuts on the chainsaw, the how to get a blood pressure is just the start. When you start your careers, hopefully soon, take time to observe, support the plan of your department, and just listen. Give it years being a sponge and absorbing it. When I started in 2002, Rich Marazzi at CDF Station Hillcrest, we had a tradition there where every morning we went in with a cup of coffee and we set it on his nightstand to wake up old Marazzi. And other people at other stations, when we'd go up and down the state on strike teams, they say, he can't make you do that. You guys don't have to do that. And we all responded, we're proud to do that. Marazzi had created an atmosphere where we were proud to be part of his plan and his company. He was there for us and we were there for them. And that's a strong company. That's the kind of company that you're proud to come to work and be part of. And that's the kind of company I want each and every one of you to get to experience in your career. I want you to take every person's story, their experience, and their perspective. The fire service is incredibly diverse, and that's what makes us strong. Support that, cherish that. Learn about your brothers and sisters. Love them for who they are, and find that we all have strengths. Be a self-starter. Find the project that's overlooked, and like my dad used to say, do one thing, do it well, and then move on to the next. Take your time, do things right. Now, when you start your career, you're going to get a tattoo. Everyone gets one, and it comes real fast. And that tattoo will stick with you forever. If you ever walk into a fire station and you hear about an old retiree, there will be about a 2-sentence, almost like a last name that goes with that individual. That's their tattoo. You're going to get a tattoo. So focus on walking in the door and getting the tattoo that is your honor, that is your reputation, something that you're proud of. As an engineer, I want you to understand that you're the heart of the crew. A good engineer can motivate the firefighter while also supporting the mission of the officer. As Chief Lacey can attest, a good engineer can make a bad officer look great, and a bad engineer can sink anyone. As a firefighter, assist your engineer. Fill the role of assisting them in all their duties and be the right-hand individual of that individual. You, as a firefighter and as an engineer, are the foundation of your company, and you are the foundation of the fire department. So day one, you are the most important asset to the fire department. You are the one right there helping the patients. You are the one right there going in the front door. So take it serious. As an officer, take responsibility for all of it. Nothing should ever roll downhill. That is a failure of yourself. Be fair, be firm, and be friendly. Lead with growth, lead with empowerment, and lead with knowledge. You in your career, something no one ever told me, and it's been a hard thing to swallow, is that if you have passion, expect that you're going to also have disappointment. You are going to work with people who do not come to this with the seriousness that I'm trying to tell you. You're going to work around people who don't deserve to be promoted, and they'll be promoted. But continue your passion. Continue the fire that you've built up in this academy. Continue to try to be like Chief Lacey. There are us out there that will appreciate you. Take every day to put the community, your crew, and yourself's health as a priority. Enjoy the most exciting, rewarding, and challenging career. It'll be hard. It'll be so extremely tiring that you'll feel like you're hitting a wall, but you are sacrificing. You are sacrificing for your community. You won't make as much as the realtor down the street. You'll notice he never seems to be at work, but he won't have the satisfaction, the reward of being with people at their worst and escorting them while they are scared. You will see them in their most vulnerable situations, whether it's a homeless individual who is in a place they could have never imagined being in, or a person whose life was just violently changed due to a wreck or trauma. You will do CPR on someone's spouse and have to tell them it did not work. Their loved one is gone. You will see parents who just lost a child, and you will see children lose parents. Take this honor, the honor of being that individual that is there to escort them through this moment to your core. Meet the honor with dignity, respect, and selflessness. This is not a job of ego and not a job of arrogance. It is a job of the ultimate service. So graduates, be proud of yourselves. I'm proud of you. You have made it through the first obstacles. You improvised, adapted, and overcame. Use this success to solidify your own capabilities in your mind. You can work anywhere. Go get that job you dream of. If you want to work for Denver, go do it. You want to work for Detroit, do it. You want to go to the East Coast, go. If you want to work down south, go. Go where you want. Nothing can stop you. They are all looking for, and I've been on both sides of the panel, they are all looking for someone who listens, learns, and is happy to be there. And you can be that. Now go get it, class of 63. Thank you.
Well, all I can say is I was wondering how I was going to share with you what a honor it is to have that man speaking at your graduation. That time that he talked about, when I went up there to Station 6, the man that I met was a frail man, sadly getting ready to pass. But he was very proud of both of his sons, very proud of his little family, his wife. It was just an amazing experience. And what was interesting, after his dad had passed, I was invited to the celebration of life. And I didn't know his dad. I knew John briefly from on a strike team assignment that I was a strike team leader trainee. And all I know is when I was asked before the city of Reading hired him was, what do you know about John Houston? And I said, I don't know a whole lot other than that man works all day long. And at the end of the day, he is just covered with soot and everything else because he's the one working the hardest, and he's got a big smile on his face. And I said, so if we're going to hire somebody, if you want to hire a worker, you're going to hire the right man. Going to his father's celebration of life, what I ended up seeing, as I'm walking up, I'm seeing a bunch of special forces guys in their berets and shirts representing the part of the special forces that these guys were from. I see a bunch of smoke jumpers representing with their shirts and things where they had come from. I had no idea that his dad was one of the special forces guys during the Vietnam era that had got dropped in behind enemy lines, erased from all records of the United States, and he persevered. And when he was, and this is it, there's these pictures of him, this big, muscle-bound, brawny man. And then there's also pictures of him as a smoke jumper I think it was out of Alaska, just big, massive dude. And I will tell you this, do what's right. Every day, get up, do what's right. When you're presented with a situation, do what's right. That's all I can say. And you never know the impact that you're going to make on people. I had no idea the impact I was going to make on John, and I'm just honored that's just the thing that was part of my past that we did. But I also want you to know what an honor it is to have him here, part of the honor guard. Then also the other gentleman that's part of the honor guard is Eddie Andrews. His dad served with the Reading Fire Department and died in the line of duty. But his dad was a hard worker. Every day, that man, from the minute he got hired on the City of Reading Fire Department, was just a workhorse. And he was a man ahead of his time. He had done some time on the East Coast fire departments, came over here to the City of Reading, and it was a blessing to have him as long as we did. So I'm very happy that these guys are here as the honor guard, and all of us are blessed to have John Houston, Captain John Houston, speaking here. So with that, thank you, John. And for our next person up will be the instructor speaker, Dijon Slate.
Thanks again, John, for the words. I know the 63rd Academy definitely appreciates you coming out and speaking to them. I also am very thankful for the opportunity to be here today to speak to the cadets and to their families. 16 weeks, 80 days, 960 hours, 57,600 minutes. This is the time that you spent here at this academy. It does not account for the hours you spent afterwards doing cleanup. It does not account for hours spent at home studying for exams and practicing your skills. It does not account for all the extra effort that you put in to ensure your success. That true number is much higher. But all that effort, all that determination is why you're here today. You've made it. You've sacrificed a lot to come this far, but you're not the only ones who've sacrificed. Others are dads, moms, sisters, brothers, grandmas, grandpas, wives, girlfriends, sons, daughters, and friends. There have been missed birthdays, anniversaries, weekend weddings without a honeymoon, illnesses, and unfortunately, even some who've lost family members. I wish I could tell you that this was only going to happen during the academy, but the truth is, there'll be times in your profession and your duty to serve the public which will interfere with your personal life. Knowing this, don't forsake the opportunity to spend time with your family and friends. These people are our foundation in life. Much like the foundation of a home, it supports the walls that support the roof and provide shelter. You must take care of your foundation, for without it, you'll be left to weather the storm alone. Over the past 16 weeks, your foundation has provided the support necessary to be successful. But that foundation hasn't been important for just the last 16 weeks. It's been important before the academy, and it will be just as important going forward. I'd like to give a round of applause for our family and friends. Next, I'd like to talk about overcoming obstacles. Almost 2 years ago, I attended a 7-week academy in Riverside. Once finished, my academy was sent to Ione for another 7 weeks to attend the Company Officer Academy. Everyone was arriving Sunday evening to get settled into our rooms so we could be prepared for the following morning. Our academy was joined by an additional 10 people that none of us had ever met. Mr. Sushnik was one of the 10 gentlemen that joined our group when we arrived in Ione. Sushnik had a condition called Tourette's. For those unfamiliar with that condition, Tourette's is a neurological disorder defined by repetitive, involuntary movements and vocalizations referred to as tics. We could hear Sushnik as he walked down the hallways that evening. The next morning, which was the first day of our COA Academy, we were in the classroom and each person gave a short bio, including their time in the fire service. When it was Sushnik's turn, he talked about his experience in the fire service and then broke the ice by talking about his Tourette's. When he was done, he told the class that he was very open about his Tourette's and that we could ask him anything. He only made one request. He said, "Just don't ask me to play hide and go seek." You see, Sushnik had an obstacle in life, and he didn't allow it to define who he was or to get in the way. Instead, he used humor to make light of it. Some obstacles are only temporary, but some obstacles can be with us for our entire lives. Either way, do your best not to allow your obstacles to get the best of you, because as I've said before, that would be disgusting. I believe you should actually welcome them, for it's through obstacles, challenges, and adversity that we grow stronger and better equipped to help others. Which brings me to my last topic. I asked myself, how was I going to make this part meaningful and memorable? After lots of careful consideration, I decided to employ 2 tactics that the fire service utilizes to help us remember information. So first, I decided to make a PowerPoint. Fortunately for you, I ran out of time. So we're going to go with the second thing I did to help you remember, which is I created an acronym, because we definitely don't have enough of those in the fire service. What I want you guys to consider is something that will not only be useful in the fire service, but even more useful in your personal life. The acronym is VIP, and it doesn't stand for Very Important Person. For this application, it has 2 meanings. The first meaning is very influential person. We should all desire to be people of influence, and more importantly, in today's world where we seem to be surrounded by negativity and destructive behavior, we should desire to be people of positive influence. We need to go into the world and leave it better than we found it. How do you do that? I believe a person should have 3 things in place. And with that, here's the second meaning of VIP. The first letter, V, stands for vision. As a firefighter, one of the calls you will respond to are structure fires. In a structure fire, it can easily go from light to pitch black as you enter a structure and you're overcome with smoke. In training, you simulated this by filling a building with smoke and blacking out your SCBA masks. It makes it impossible to see, and when you can't see, it becomes very easy to get turned around, disoriented, and can ultimately result in being lost and unsure of which direction you should go. The same is true in life. Without vision, you can easily become disoriented and on a path that will not lead to your life goals. Know your goals. Have a vision on how you will achieve those goals. And if you ever find yourself disoriented, fall back on your training and remember how to correct the problem. You'll need to sound the alarm, get your buddy, work together to exit the situation, regain your bearing and vision, and try again. So, work hard to maintain your vision. The second letter is I, which stands for integrity. Webster defines integrity as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. This one has a simple and logical thought process. Without integrity, it's hard to be trusted. Without trust, you will drastically limit the people that can help you reach your goals. Without help to reach your goals, you can easily become disoriented and lose your vision. If you've lost your vision, how will you ever help to positively influence others? So, in all areas of your life, exercise integrity. Last but certainly not least is the letter P, which stands for purpose. This one is likely the most important. Life has a meaning. Life has a purpose. If we don't know our purpose, then how will we develop our vision? Without purpose, it will be hard to plot our path of travel, and it will be hard for you to plot your path of travel necessary to reach your goals. And without purpose, what compass will you use to form the traits of integrity that are crucial to reaching your goals? These 3 things work together in unison to foster the traits necessary to be a very influential person. 63rd Fire Academy. Go into the world and positively influence others. In closing, I want to say it's been a privilege for me to see the great progress that you've made in the last 16 weeks. I'm very glad I had the opportunity to be a part of your academy, and please don't be a stranger. Thank you and God bless.
I do have to say one thing. I agree with him when it comes to family. I will say this. I love my wife. Many of you have met her. She's a sweet lady, and she did a great job raising our kids. I'm very thankful because I wasn't there much. But it is what it is, and we get to enjoy each other now. So next up, class speakers, Nicholas Alejandre, Daniel Bodishbaugh, and Jacob Pierce.
I remember the first day of the academy. I show up at 5:30, and Mr. Slape inspects us all to make sure we have everything for PT. One of the academy students, Anglin, forgot his rope in his car. Mr. Slape was disgusted. Anglin had also parked in the completely wrong parking lot. As Mr. Slape began to rip into Anglin, I thought to myself, what did I get myself into? Getting up every morning to work out before the sun came up was an eye-opener to most of us on how much our lives were going to be committed to this academy. Mr. Slape was around about the first 2 days of the academy, and then we were on our own to push each other for about a month due to all the fires. A few weeks in, one of the firefighters from Station 73, Kevin Ramirez, decided he was going to volunteer to ensure we get the conditioning we need to be successful. I would like to thank him for all the time and energy he put into our academy. Mr. Slamp came back with about a month left in our academy and was very impressed on how in shape we were without him there. Having Slape gone throughout the academy taught everyone the meaning of discipline and really brought the whole academy together as sort of a second family. This academy has really taught all of us the actual meaning of being a firefighter and the commitment it takes to be professionals at what we do. I would like to thank the rest of my classmates and instructors for getting me through this huge accomplishment and driving me to be the man I am today.
On August 17th, 2020, the 28 of us started our career in the fire service. At the time that we had started, we thought our career wouldn't start until once we graduate. Well, shortly after that, we learned we were wrong. There was a word that I learned while we were here at the academy, and that word's firemanship. It's the ability to adapt to any situation, overcome any obstacle, trust that your brother can do his job, and trust that you can do your job for your brother. It's to honor, it's to respect, and it's devotion to duty. Well, our firemanship would be tested while we're here at the academy. As of today, over 4,177,000 acres have burned, and 9,630 fires have been fought. Although we weren't on those fires, we were a part of them. From day one, our instructors were either assigned to a strike team or would be eventually. We were asked to be patient at times, and we were. We were placed in tough situations, and all of us adapted and overcame. By doing so, we learned to self-govern, learned to rely on each other, and we grew as a family to achieve one objective. I stand here before you today on behalf of all 28 of us. Sir, we have achieved that objective. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible. From the death by PowerPoints to the miles of hose that we had to roll. We have learned a lot, and we have come a long ways. Thank you to all the staff for all the hard work and dedication you put into making this academy happen. We will always uphold the 63rd Fire Academy standard, or as we would call it, the SLAPE standard. Thank you.
The 63rd Academy has been a special one. Through the times of COVID-19, regulations have prohibited us from many things. Shaking hands, sitting in our normal classroom, having visitors during live fire weeks, and of course, our graduation ceremony. Nonetheless, as we've learned, we improvise, overcome, and adapt. I'm a firm believer in that what you put your time to is what you value. We've put 16 weeks into not only ourselves but each other, and have built strong foundations to build our fire service career on. 63rd is a very tight-knit group who cares for one another and would trust each other on a hose lay or an interior attack. I personally would like to thank every one of you for pushing me and most of all yourselves to a point we didn't know we had. I'd like to say I'll always remember you, every one of you, and the time we've shared together. We've had the finest cadre and would like to wholly thank them for being incredible individuals and absolutely top-notch professionals. We appreciate the care you've put into our academy day in and day out, especially through these hard times. We now know what it takes to become professionals in the fire service. Thank you. And next, I'd like to announce Cody Swenson.
On behalf of the 28 of us, I would like to call up Chief Lacey. On behalf of all of us in the 63rd Fire Academy, we really do appreciate everything that you have done for us.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate that. Cherish it forever. All right, next up will be the Academy Awards. And one of the things I'd like to say is the first one is going to be on the academic. And I would like to say each and every one of you have done an outstanding job. One of the things when I started this academy, it was more of an academy where we could see, it wasn't we, it was the culture of, if you don't read that whole book and know it inside and out, there's a good chance you're going to fail. You're going to fail so many tests it's not even funny. I asked the question, why? Why aren't they getting what the other cadets at other colleges are getting? And I couldn't get a good answer. So I started to implement what all the other colleges get, meaning that you have study material, you have flashcards, you have audiobooks to help you be your best, because it's not only doing what you're doing academically, but it's also getting that done, getting the knowledge in your head before you get the instruction, and that way then you can go out to the field when the field portion starts and you have a good base of knowledge to knock it out of the park. One of the things, like I told my previous dean, I shared with her, it's amazing what happens when you give people hope. Give them the opportunity to be successful. It's amazing what you will see. And this is one of the first ones that it's clean, concise, and it's there. Good job to all of you. Now, there are two people who tied for the highest score academically and overall as far as the points calculated. And they are, if they could come up on stage, their score was 99.01. First one is Brock Wozni. Next up, go ahead and take your place. James Sharp. Good job, you guys. I'm going to have you remain up here. Mr. Slape is going to present the additional awards, so I'm going to have you remain right where you're at.
So the second award is encompassing of the physical fitness. So each morning the cadets get up by 4 o'clock in the morning. They prepare everything that they need and make sure that they're able to be successful. And they start promptly at 5:30 in the morning. The physical training that you guys go through, it's designed to push you further than you thought you could go and prepare you for the physical demands that are necessary to be successful in this academy as well as in our profession. I want to recognize all of you for the physical challenges that you faced in the last 16 weeks. and overcome. Some mornings were relaxing and enjoyable, some were not. Most were not. You did countless push-ups, sit-ups, sun gods, planks, squats, sprints, tire pulls, hose drags, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, and I could go on and on. But the point is you've worked hard to get where you're at physically, and just because the academy's ending, don't allow your physical fitness to end. Okay? Keep up with your physical training so that you're ready for the demands that are necessary for being part of the fire service. When all is said and done at the end of the academy, we did a physical fitness assessment. You did a series of exercises that had point values assigned to them. The goal was to reach 400 or more points, and if this was achieved, you had made it into the 400 club. This semester, we had 2 students that achieved this goal. So as I say your name, go ahead and come forward. As part of that, the award that we have for them is a specific challenge coin as a reminder for them of the physical fitness that they have achieved while here. So first off, with 415 points, which was actually a tie for our previous record set here at the Academy, is Noah Bensman. Congratulations. Second was Dominic Tryon with 422 points. So with achieving 422 points, you now set the record that we have here at the Academy.
Thank you, sir.
For the 400 Club, and that will definitely set the bar for the rest of the students that are going to be coming through the program.
Great job, you guys. Let's give them a good hand. All right, you may be seated. Okay, for the program, we have the class video, who was put together by Tyler Martin. Okay, next up is class certificates. So we'll be presenting class certificates at this time.
Alpha Company. Peace. Right face.
Alpha Company Captain Daniel Bodishbaugh. Alpha Company Lieutenant Carlin Aronson.
Thank you, sir.
You got all of them. You still got all of them. Alpha Company Cadet Cameron Clegg.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Alpha Company Cadet Elijah Morgan. Let's see. Just go ahead and go. Alpha Company Cadet Zach Englund.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good job. Alpha Company Cadet Ethan Magana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bravo Company. Peace. Right face.
I should have checked. Bravo Company Captain Eric Hovland.
Thank you, sir.
Bravo Company Lieutenant Jacob Pierce.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Cadet Dominic Tryon. Cadet Hunter Johnson.
Thank you.
Cadet Tony Mora. Yeah, buddy. Cadet Clay Piori. Yeah.
Charlie Company. Peace. Right face.
Charlie Company Captain Jaden Clegg. Charlie Company Lieutenant Austin Scott. Charlie Company Cadet Cody Swenson. Charlie Company Cadet Nicholas Alejandre. Charlie Company Cadet William Stewart. Charlie Company Cadet Braden Akers.
Delta Company, B. Right, thanks.
Delta Company Captain Jesse Kavanaugh. Delta Company Lieutenant Austin Outcalt. Delta Company Cadet Tyler Martin. Delta Company Cadet Brock Wozni. Delta Company Cadet Joshua Cox. Delta Company Cadet PJ Sermonto. Delta Company Cadet James Sharp.
Right, thanks.
Battalion 1 Commander Neil Smith. Battalion 2 Commander Nathaniel Lacey. Class Commander Noah Bensman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the Shasta College 63rd Firefighter Academy graduates. Let's give them a big hand.